Hello and welcome to this lesson. Today we are going to look at ways to say no tactfully in English, and these are in order to help your conversation skills or your speaking skills. Okay, so we're going to have a look at all of the expressions individually. I'm going to try to give you some examples of when you can use them, and as I said before, just in general to help you improve your speaking and conversational skills in English. Okay, so let's go to slide 1. Okay, now in English we have a lot of ways that we can say no tactfully. The focus of today's lesson is to show you the ways that we use the language in order to say no tactfully. So it doesn't mean that we give you a direct no, it just means that we say no in a passive or a tactful way in order to get our message across. Okay. Now the first one we're going to look at is I'm not keen on. Okay, I'm not keen on. So we can put this into a context of you're at a restaurant, somebody wants to order a plate or a dish to share amongst everybody, and perhaps it has something that you don't particularly like and you don't want to be rude. So what you say is, I'm not keen on sausages, I'm not keen on asparagus, I'm not keen on mustard, or whatever you are not particularly keen on. Okay, so you're not keen on something, meaning that you don't like it. The next one, I don't particularly like. Again, similar to the first example that I gave, if somebody asks you to share something with them and you don't particularly want to do it, sorry, but I don't particularly like that. I don't particularly like asparagus. I don't particularly like that. Okay, so you say no tactfully. The next one, this is a little bit more aggressive, but you'd say it, with a smile on your face. I can't stand asparagus. I can't stand it. It's one of my least favorite foods. I can't stand asparagus. Okay. The next one is, it's not really my idea of fun. Now, we wouldn't use this in the context of the restaurant that I saw before. So let's say you get asked to go to a disco. You don't like discos very much, so you'd say, well, discos, they're not really my idea of fun, or it's not really my idea of fun. I'm more of a day person and not a night person, okay? So it's not really my idea of fun. Another expression is, it's not really my cup of tea. Now, this is a British expression. We also use it in Australia. It's not really my cup of tea, meaning that it's not something that you particularly enjoy, okay? So it's not really my cup of tea. Discos aren't really my cup of tea. The next one here is, I'd really rather not. I'd really rather not. John, would you like to come to a disco with me tonight? I'd really rather not. I'm feeling a bit tired. I have to work tomorrow, so I'd really rather not go to the disco with you tonight. Okay? Thanks a lot, but have a good day. Now, the last one on this slide is, I'm not overly fond of. I'm not overly fond. A bit more formal, okay? Again, in the disco context, they invite you to the disco. I'm not overly fond of discos. I'd prefer to go home and go to bed, okay? You're not overly fond of. You can also use this in the case that we saw before with the food. I'm not overly fond of asparagus. I'm using asparagus again because it's one of those things that I don't really like. So I'm not overly fond of asparagus, okay? Now let's go to the second slide and have a look at some more ways of saying no tactfully. Now the first one on this slide is fairly simple. It's I'd prefer. I'd prefer to do something else. I'd prefer not to go. I'd prefer to try something else, okay? So again, you get asked to do something, accompany someone, try something new. I'd prefer not to. I'd prefer to do something else, okay? The next one, I'd much rather. I'd much rather. Would you like to come to the disco? I'd much rather go home, thanks, if you don't mind. I'd much rather. I'd rather, okay, similar before. I'd rather go, I'd rather do, I'd rather see, I'd rather eat, okay? So plus the infinitive afterwards. So there's similar ways of saying no, but tactfully, okay? Now we'll have a look at one more slide and we'll look at some more examples of ways to say no tactfully. The first one, I'd love to, but. Would you like to come to the disco? I'd love to, but I've got a meeting tomorrow morning really early. I'd love to, but. Okay. I wish I could, but. Like to come to the disco? I wish I could, but I've got a meeting tomorrow morning, so I really should be getting home to bed. Okay? Would you like to come to the disco? Normally I would, but I'm a bit tired today. I've got a bit of a headache. I'm not feeling too well. Sore throat. I think I'd rather go home to bed. Thanks. Thanks for offering. Now this is a good one here. If you had asked me yesterday, I would have said yes, but my opinion has changed, okay? If you had asked me yesterday. All right, good. Now, thanks for watching. If you have any doubts or any questions, please leave a comment and I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. Have a good day. Bye.